Hello, it's a 7-day reset challenge brought to you by Rewire Renew Inspire Coaching and Consulting. I'm your host and coach, Nicole Vashon Dean, and welcome back to day two. If you're just joining us for the first time, there's a day one that we're going to recap, but welcome to day two on this journey. March to the Madness was designed to allow people to step back, clear the mental clutter, and reconnect with what matters most. With this chaotic world that we may feel that we're living in, competing with our time, competing with our energy, I wanted to offer this opportunity for you to reset your life and get back on track to the things that matter most. Thank you for coming back again today. At this time, we're going to pause. This is your opportunity to just exhale, to reset your time, to get a coffee, to get some water, to get your notebooks out and your pen, because you're going to want to take notes. Ideally, you realize the value of having note paper available, or your iPad or your computer, whatever you use. Every generation is different. But I want to make sure that you have the tools you need to be successful. On yesterday, I encouraged you to take a moment to write down at least one thing you're grateful for. Today, I'm going to challenge you to write two things that you feel grateful for today. And yes, you can do more than two, but I just want to encourage you to focus on the good things. Even though there is madness, even though there may be some challenges that you're facing and you're just trying to get reset and back on track, let's be mindful to look at the things that we do have and have gratitude for that. I want to affirm you for being here, and I want you to affirm yourself. Affirmations are about celebrating your capabilities, your strengths. It's not about being cocky or overconfident. It is about acknowledging what is true about you or what you desire to be true about you. Speaking those things that are not as though they actually are is very encouraging and very uplifting in your spirit that allows you to be better every day. So take a moment to celebrate you. Yesterday, day one, whenever your day one was, I encouraged you to affirm the fact that you started this journey. The great thing about the way we've set this up, you can start it again. You can pick up where you left off at any point. So on day two, two things you're grateful for, and make sure you affirm yourself with at least two affirmations that you came back for day two and something else about yourself that you want to celebrate and reiterate inside your spirit. Then I encourage you just to take a moment of stillness, close the door, find a seat, be still, put the phone on vibrate, turn off the TV, step away from the computer unless you're using it to watch this. Take a moment for yourself. You deserve it. All right. So again, just take that time. The great thing about this, you can pause it, breathe, come on back. But I definitely wanted to make sure that we get started on the right foot. Day two, let's look at day one. So on day one, you had a takeaway. And I just want to remind you what your call of action was from day one. It was to reflect on that session and pick one thing that you were doing well and should continue, one thing that you need to start doing, and one thing that you need to stop doing. Did you write that down? If you didn't, take a moment now to write one thing you know you're doing well, like participating in a reset challenge. One thing that you need to start doing. What are you procrastinating about? Come on, write it down. And then one thing that you need to stop doing. You know it, and you just need to stop. Write it down. The accountability of seeing things written down is so much more effective than just saying it to yourself. But at minimum, write these questions down so that you can go back and revisit them. We may take 20 minutes in this actual challenge session, but many times it's going to be a little shorter, but you can use that remaining time, that remaining 10 to 15 minutes to get your 20 to 30 minutes of really thinking about the things we've spoken about and answering those challenge questions and working on those action items. You have the whole window of time right now just to knock it out and then return for the next journey day. All right, so let's take a look at today. What are we going to talk about today? So day 2, priorities. Priorities. It's important to do everything with intention. And you already see those questions on the screen, but let's focus in on the challenge statement first. Do everything with intention. What is your why? Have you heard that before? Why are you doing this? Why is this your goal? Why is this so important to you? Right? So when you do things with intention, you make it a priority, or at least you get clarity on where it falls in your list of priorities. Is your intention to be successful in your career? Is your intention to make other people happy? Is your intention to support your community? What is your intention behind the actions that you take, behind the goals that you make? So priority is about understanding that you should do everything with intention. And if you don't have a clear intention, if you don't know what your why is for the things that are on your list, you may need to revisit that list. So let's look at the challenge questions. Question 1. What does an ideal day look like for you? In a perfect world, no distractions, what would a ideal day look like for you? Meaning, ideal means if I could just focus on the things I really find important and that I have set an intention for that align with my purpose in my life, these are the things that I would do today and each day. So what does the ideal day look like for you? If you're desiring to be a healthier person and your intention is to become healthier through exercise and nutrition and healthy mental, then what does an ideal day look like? How do you start your day? What do you do? What do you say to yourself? Is there an affirmation? Is there a meditation? Is there a prayer time? What do you physically do? Is there stretching? Is there exercise? Is there yoga? Is there the gym? Taking your dog for a walk? What are you going to do? What are your intentions, right? What are you eating? When do you eat? How much do you eat? Because you do need fuel for the day, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, or whatever the deal is. How are you taking care of yourself? What time do you want to go to bed? What time do you want to wake up in the morning? How much time do you want for a break? How many meetings do you want to have in a day? How much time do you want to spend in meetings? How long should that meeting be? 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour? Is there a buffer in between? Or is it 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? What does your ideal day look like? You need to write that down. You need to get a visual of what that would be so you can begin to understand your intentions and your priorities. Question 2, what top 3 things would have your attention on those days? So I give you a bunch of things to choose from of what an ideal day would look like. Now narrow that down to what the top 3 things would have your attention. Because right now, I'm sure a lot of things have your attention. But if you could only choose 3 today for that ideal day, what would be the top 3 things? No matter what category in your life, in the day, where do relationships fall? Where do finances fall? Where does career fall? Where does the health fall? Like, what are your top 3 priorities? What are the things that would have your attention? Write that down. What has you most overwhelmed or fill in the blank? Because some of you may be listening to this reset challenge and saying, I don't necessarily feel overwhelmed, or I don't necessarily feel like there's madness, but I am interested in just resetting. And because I have these other things going on, I feel unsettled, uncertain, doubtful, confused, frustrated. I'm looking for a job and I'm just, I think I want to change careers. And I'm just trying to reset my mind. Maybe you're looking at it in a different way, and that's okay because all are welcome. But what has you most overwhelmed or fill in the blank? Because you got to know what's bothering you, right? So you can begin to hone in on that and focus on how you can make it less of an issue. So, priorities: do everything with intention and start to look at what an ideal day would look like for you if you had no distractions and no one else was trying to tell you how your day should look. What would it look like? And what would be those top 3 things that you would focus on for the day as a priority? And what has you most overwhelmed, or fill in the blank with your own term of whatever you might be dealing with at this time? Write that down. Okay. And then we have our action step for today. Call to action. Reflect on our session points, and I want you to list your top 10 true priorities in chronological order. The most important is first, and be specific. So this requires you to kind of go back and take a look at yesterday, your things that you're doing well, things that you should stop doing, things you should start doing, right? And then looking at what your ideal day would look like, the intention behind that, and what would be your 3 things of focus or the ideal day. That should be part of this top 10, I would think, right? And then what has you most overwhelmed? And what can you put on this top 10 priority list to assist you with becoming less overwhelmed, or cancel it out altogether? All right. Put it in order. Most important thing at the top to the bottom. And then be specific when you talk about it. You know, my priority is my career because it's important to me to blank. It can't just be career. Well, what does that mean? Career as far as your skill set, career as far as your finances, career as far as your network, career as far as your net worth. Like why is it a priority? That needs to be a part of that list. Know your why. Why is it a priority? Okay. Top 10. That is the action. That's the call to action. So you thought of 3 that you would focus on your ideal day. So you just got to come up with 7 more. Make that list. And those should, again, be in order of what's most important to you. Okay. So that's going to be your call to action for day 2 for the March Through the Madness 7-day reset journey. We're on day 2. You're like moving on. We're not halfway there, but you get the point. You're moving through, and we're building upon everything. So again, I encourage you to stick with me. If you want to learn more about Rewire, Renew, Inspire Coaching and Consulting, subscribe to this channel. Go to rewirerenewinspire.com. I want to wish you an amazing day. I want you to stay focused on what's important to you. You've taken the time to listen to this. You might as well take the time to do the work. If you're interested in getting the information that we're sharing in these journey days, that information will be available to you at the end of the 7-day journey. All right. Have an amazing day. Write down your priorities. Do not procrastinate. And I'll see you again soon. Take care, you guys.